Sam Darnold, Jaxon Smith-Njigba, and the Seattle Seahawks head to Duval County to face Trevor Lawrence, Devin Lloyd, and the Jacksonville Jaguars. Let's start with the 4-1 Liam Cohen-led Jaguars, who fought, clawed, got themselves off the mat down by the goal line to victory. That final play by Trevor Lawrence gets stepped on, stumbles to the ground, stumbles again. Somehow no Chief finds him, goes to the left side, dives into the end zone for the game-winning touchdown. That was unbelievable. Now, should Trevor Lawrence have taken that sack earlier in the drive that put them in a 3rd and 7 from 2nd and 4? They have to burn that timeout? No. But you saw the talent. The deep ball, sideline, Brian Thomas, unreal. They get a penalty in the end zone, bails them out a little bit there. They fought in this game, and it's something that I think a lot of Seattle Seahawks fans see some similarities in. I'm sure a lot of them were interested in that game. Frankly, the entire NFL world was curious. Well, Jacksonville's 3-1. Can they beat the 3-time Super Bowl champion Patrick Mahomes? This game really came down to some key turnovers down by the goal line. Look, the Jaguars going in to tie the game in the first half, and Trevor Lawrence, 4th and goal, tries the famous put the ball over the plane, and he doesn't score. It's a fumble, and then the Jaguars fight back in that game. It's 14-all. The Chiefs really looking to take the lead, and Patrick Mahomes gets picked off by Devin Lloyd. Now, going into this game, Sam Darnold, you have to be aware at all times where Devin Lloyd is. He's arguably been the best defensive player in the National Football League to this point in the season, making these types of impactful plays. I mean, that is a game-changing play. 14-point swing, flips the entire script, because it was like, okay, Jacksonville's had some fun. They've hung around in this game. Do we really think that they're going to beat the Chiefs? And bam! Hit like a freight train. Patrick Mahomes smacked across the face, across the stadium with that one. I think a lot of Chiefs fans felt that one to their core. They dropped to 2-3 on the season, and another AFC loss. That's their second of the year, already lost to the Chargers. So this game, as we look at Seattle and Jacksonville, you have to respect Trevor Lawrence, because he's shown he has the ability to lead his team down the field in key moments. Sam Darnold, he did that against Arizona, and I think a similarity both of these teams can draw is Arizona tied the game against Seattle. Kicker puts the ball out of bounds. Sam Darnold has a nice play of Jaxon Smith-Njigba against Arizona. They kick the game-winning field goal. Jaguars, same thing. Butker kicks the thing out of bounds, and they have to start at the 40 instead of anywhere else to go down the field and score a touchdown, shorten the field for both of these teams, and they get those game-winning drives. Seattle last week, they were so good offensively, moving down the field at a whim. It's just that the turnover at the end, I was disappointed in Sam Darnold because of the situation. I'm saying to myself, you got to understand, all right, you're going to win this game or we're going to overtime. At the very worst case, we're going to overtime with a chance to win this game. It's at home, crowd's behind us, let's do it. And then the turnover, just trying to create it, you get it, but you cannot try and do a little bit too much there, knowing that you're backed up. And if you do turn the football over, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to have pretty much an easy win at that point. But two teams right now that are playing at a very high level on the defensive side of the football. The Jacksonville Jaguars lead the National Football League in takeaways. They may be giving up the yards. They may be bending, but they aren't fully breaking. They gave up the 28 points, but when it mattered the most, they stopped the Chiefs at the end. They didn't have much time, and then they got the stop at the goal line with the pick six. 8th in the NFL in points given up as a defense, despite 23 yards, 23rd in yards per game allowed. Now, I think that you can give up the yards. That's exactly what we talk about in bend, don't break defenses. Look, we're going to give up the yards, but because of our trench play, we can hold Seattle. It's too tough to cover Kupp and Jaxon Smith-Njigba and Kenneth Walker, Charbonnet out of the backfield. They are so dynamic with the power and thunder that they bring to the table. It's important that Jacksonville does what they've shown, is rely on teams being a little bit grabby And if you're going to try and run the football, there's going to be a holding call that sets you back a little bit, or you can turn the football over, or you can force field goals in the red zone. Didn't see that against the Kansas City Chiefs. Can you see that against the Seattle Seahawks? I'm going to say it. This is just about a coin toss, in my opinion, when you have two high-level football teams playing well on the defensive side of the ball. Seattle Seahawks come into this game 16th in the league in yards per game, but again, 11th in points, and a lot of those numbers are skewed towards giving up the amount of points that they did against Tampa Bay. That was just a shootout. Can we give a round of applause for Jaxon Smith-Njigba and Emeka Egbuka just letting our eyes feast on some unbelievable wide receiver play? Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold, another round of applause for unbelievable performances. Easily one of the most watchable games of the season. You turn that thing on, and it's enjoyable from the kickoff all the way through the last kick of the game. I know it hurt for Seattle fans to lose again at home. No idea, but you're going on the road. This is the place where you feel comfortable, right? Winning on the road. It's like what Seattle is doing this season under Mike McDonald, but you have to love the culture that Liam Cohen is building. This is a team that was down 14 points to the three-time champions, and they don't flinch at all. Down 7.5. KC's got the football. There was a big hinge in this football game where I really thought it could turn. They were down by 7, but the Chiefs got the ball back with a little bit of time before the half, and bam, Josh Hines-Allen makes a huge tackle for loss, a 6-yard loss behind the play, and immediately you're like, whoa, if they could get the ball back, or at the very least, we're going to go into the half down only by 7 points going into halftime, and let's regroup at home. That stadium was on fire. Jacksonville fans completely bring it. Seattle Seahawks fans bring it as much as anybody. I think there will be a lot of them there in Jacksonville for this. This is going to be quite the environment. You've got this high-flying Seattle offense that's 8th in the NFL. They are putting up 358 yards a game, scoring 29 points a game, 5th in the NFL in points scored. These offenses, they can move the ball now. Now, Jacksonville could not run the football all that well with Etienne, something that they would relied on earlier on in the season. Where did they get the production? It was Trevor Lawrence with a lot of scrambles. If you remember, if you watch my Blitz with Blender content, hope you do, please subscribe if you have not already. I talked about the importance of Trevor Lawrence's legs in this game because Spagnuolo would try and take away Etienne. He would try and take away your best factor, which had been Etienne. 12 carries for 49 yards was not really that much of an impact. There was a deep shot to Travis Hunter in the game, and then a deep ball to Brian Thomas. That was really the majority of the receiving yards that you were able to put up. Trevor was still not great. The interception should have been pass interference. Fully understand that, but at that point in the game, that was a massive swing. Getting the ball back, they're up by 7 points, fourth quarter, and you turn it away, just give the Chiefs that touchdown. Things could have really flipped on its head at that point, and you're able to get the field goal. Chiefs go down. So this was just a great game, and you saw the Jaguars go toe-to-toe with them, and I have a lot of respect for what Tampa Bay is. So I know it's a disappointing loss for Seattle. That is a great Tampa Bay football team you're playing. As a Seahawks fan, currently you're looking at staying within that race with the Rams and the 49ers. It looks like the Cardinals are done. One of the worst losses that you'll ever see. I really hope you did not watch it because it hurts your eyeballs. A couple of these plays, seeing them just actually lose that game. But in this matchup, I'm looking at the run game. Frankly, is Trevor Lawrence as much of a factor as he was with his legs? Can Kenneth Walker continue to be explosive as a back for Seattle? A lot of the yards for them have been Kenneth Walker. And then, of course, the big bruising body, Zachariah Charbonnet down by the red zone, had the touchdown running. Kenneth Walker a little bit faster and the ability to break runs a little bit easier. He's got a bit more of that burst, whereas Charbonnet runs through people. They're definitely different style of runners, but they help each other out. Thunder and lightning, baby, able to have that combination. And then against this talented Jacksonville secondary, I mean, they really have some very opportunistic moments where they have throughout the season come up with the plays that they really needed to in the biggest moments. And I'm even looking at their defensive line. This is without Trayvon Walker, and who's starting to come along and turn into one of the best defensive edge players in the NFC. We haven't even mentioned some of the guys like Aluakon. Didn't have a huge day against Kansas City, but always makes his presence felt. Tyson Campbell, arguably one of the better defensive backs in the NFL. This is a team that's starting to integrate Travis Hunter a lot more into their offense and defense. Had a little bit of a scare on a deep ball in that game, but an unbelievable play. If you remember the bit of the dump off into the flat, makes a man miss to the outside, makes a man miss the other way, winds up picking 11 yards, and it looks like he's going to be tackled for a loss. You saw the talent flashing right in front of your face. It's unbelievable. Trevor Lawrence, I mean, he had the fumble right down by the goal line. This is his 23rd fumble loss. They put it up on the screen. He has the most fumbles in the NFL since he came into the league in 2021. There was a deep ball, right, that we talked about earlier. You just got to give Travis Hunter, I believe, a couple of more opportunities. He's just that talented. Doesn't have that 6'4", 220-pound size like that DK Metcalf, but what he does is have great ball skills, and he has incredible body control, attacking the ball at the highest points, giving him more opportunities. I would love to see that in this game. If he has his one-on-ones, whether it be Woolen or Witherspoon, that they are talented defensive backs in Seattle. That's why it's really exciting to see these squads go head-to-head very evenly. If I have a lean in this game, I'm slightly going to the Seattle Seahawks. I just have loved the way that they've played on the road, a little bit of an edginess to them. They found a way to run the ball. They have a quarterback in Sam Darnold that has fully carried over that confidence. Even if you were a Seahawk fan, confident that Sam was coming into your team and he was going to inject some of the same ability that he had with Minnesota last year, you still didn't quite expect maybe he'd be exactly as good, maybe somewhat of a step down without that array of weapons he had in Minnesota. But no. He has been just as good, if not even better, this season without Kevin O'Connell. Like, he doesn't have the offensive-minded head coach. How does he fare? Sam Darnold has been just fine. I'm a little bit concerned still with Trevor Lawrence's urge, call it the urge sometimes, to turn the football over. He certainly has a knack, especially at inopportune times for that. That's really the biggest concern with Jacksonville right now. You've got facing the offensive line holding up. You like the weapons that they have. They need to get Strange back and healthy. But the backfield and what they have in Etienne and the defense at all three levels, they've got monsters throughout the entire roster. Eric Armstead still playing really well in the interior of that thing. He's unbelievable with, of course, Allen and Trayvon Walker. So I will go with the Seattle Seahawks to win this game on the road. I have a little bit more faith in Sam Darnold in the big moments. I don't see a style where this game really gets away from him. I'm going to go with the Seattle Seahawks. Not crazy high scoring, not crazy amount of defense. 24-21. The Seahawks get the win on the road and improve to 4-2 on the season, and Jacksonville drops to 4-2. Let me know down below in the comments who you think wins this game. With Blitz with Blender, I'm always looking to try and get down there as much as I can, respond, interact with you guys. I know some of you are very passionate and have your feedback to say on this stuff. Please let me know what you think. Seattle, did they pull it off on the road? Am I wrong? Jacksonville pulls it out, but 24-21, the Seahawks get the win on the road. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you so much. As always, make sure to subscribe for more Blitz with Blender content in the future. I make NFL and college videos every day as we go forward on the season. Cannot believe it's week 6 already in the NFL. It's week 7 in the college game. So as we get ready for more of these larger matchups, that we start to sort of formulate where the teams lie in the sense of who are the better teams in the league, and I believe that these two teams are. So I appreciate you. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.
Best player in college football.
That Georgia and Ohio State game, New Year's Eve, is going to be a classic.
Josh Blender, hi everybody, I'm Josh Blender.
To the 40, 35, 30, Espinosa to the 20.